So I'm going in to get the parts to make this clock, and I don't know what the hell to call it. I'm trying to get away from the old clock, so I'm gonna try to be as creative as I can. It's gonna be my first time at this, and I'm sure it'll be many other things to tweak it. I already went from the 1 through 13 idea, and I liked it because the 0 was gone, but there was still something wrong with it. So I'm going for the 1 through 9 clock, and I don't know what the hell to call it yet. So I'm just going to start building it and see how it goes, which is really just going to be stealing ideas from other clocks. Is really what I'm going to do. It'll be easy, it'll be cheap, probably going to cost me $10 to get started on doing this. I'm just going to buy some clock parts and look at some designs of clocks and just change the backing on it or something, some shit like that. I don't know, something like that. But the 1 through 9 works for me. When you get to the 9, you're back at 1 again. That's it. It seems easy to me. I think we overcomplicate everything. That's our way as humans for some reason. So I'm gonna go in here and get the shit I need, and I'm just running the cameras through because what the hell, might as well. I got to start the channel over anyway on the Miguel Everyone channel. I'm gonna try to not get any copyrights. I can't. That's one of the reasons why I'm not even bothering with the other channel, Michael Oziak channel, because if I get any more strikes, then that's it. Then they shut the channel down, and then so it'll all be a waste. You know what I mean? So it's like a waste. Even why bother going over there? I say one thing wrong, they flag the shit out of a video, and I get a strike or something like that. So as long as it's still up, I went on there yesterday, and it is still up, so I can use those videos as the research videos that are on there. I can use to get going on this new channel. But I've already got one strike already on the Miguel Everyone channel, so I got to be careful here too. I'm going to keep uploading, and then I was thinking about going on to other platforms and stuff, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's all frustrating. Can't talk about anything. Can't say anything really. You gotta step on fucking eggshells in order to even talk openly to people. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to me that anyone around me has certainly not even remotely awakened in the 4 years that I've been working on showing people the system, showing people the true creator and the false creator is the way I like to say it, because that's literally what it is. You're looking right into them. You're looking past them. Everybody is, and if I'm not going to be able to wake up my family and my friends, and then all of a sudden I start looking outward to say, okay, well, maybe others who have impact on my family and friends. Maybe the idea is to awaken them and show them the system. If everybody relies so much on what these entertainers all tell them, programmers, if they rely so much on them and they believe their shit, that's why I say it's 7.8 billion, because we are the ones that have control of all that. We the subscriber. As the subscribers, we really have the power, and we want to ignore our power and give our power to the programmers and say, yes, program us. We want to be as intelligent as possible. And intelligence is a twisted word, because if it's all programming, then it's not really truly intelligence, is it? It's all just programming, and you've been programmed to believe that these things are intelligent. That's why I say getting rid of the 0 has to happen. Getting rid of the O has to happen. Getting rid of the circle, the wheel, the tire. And people are going to say, he's fucking out of his mind. I'm not out of my mind. I'm telling you, I can see it. It's a given. You're all just so used to living the way that we've been living that you can't understand that these lies, how badly they hurt us. It's not a nothing and a no big deal to be using these zeros. It's a huge deal on our psyche. It's just like the same thing I'm saying about the N word. The N word is a huge bad thing on the human psyche for black people, for both people, for all colors really, even whites. It's a bad word to use on the psyche. But there are millions of these bad words. That's not my battle. Is not to to only awaken people of color. That's not my it's not my point. What I'm trying to do. And if you look back at all my series that I've done, I've gotten somebody under every nationality and every color. I don't think I intentionally did any race or color except for black people, because black people, I'm going to show you in some future videos, without stirring up hatred shit, because you're just going to use that shit as reason to shut down my channel anyway. I can already see they're doing that. They're already going for that. You got so many psyop fake shit that goes on in the media, and when I start hearing them throwing around the same warnings that I get on my channel, just from regular subscribers and people that just come in to look at the series or whatever, and they say the same shit, they just spout it all back. And then if I watch the news, like lately I've been doing for the last since I've been on this series, for the Candace Owens series, they're like mimicking and repeating the same shit. It's weird. I'll be more specific at a later date about that. But how the hell are we supposed to get together with each other? You know what I mean? And talk about these things. See, when you go by the color chart, the heavy metals and minerals, and I think that's how I'm going to start wording things. Instead of saying black people, I'm going to say black carbons. Instead of saying white people, I'm going to say white carbons, or something along those lines, and try to change some wording there as well. But I'm going to show you guys on the color chart using I grabbed my son's paints, and I'm going to do that sometime in the next 20 videos or something. But there's been something major that has happened to black people, and I don't mean African Americans, because when I'm doing this series to Candace Owens, I'm hoping that she sees the bigger picture as well. Because Candace Owens, and hopefully you come to these videos, Candace, you're concerned with African Americans. It's all about America, and I understand that, and the national movement and all that stuff. I understand, what you're going through and everything like that, but I'm trying to show you that it's even bigger than that. And seeing that you work in Europe as well, doing the Blaxit thing, is another reason why I think that you would be the one to bring this all to, as far as the colors go. Because see, blacks cannot go without whites, and whites cannot be without blacks. And what they've done over the last 6,000 to 10,000 years since our last reset, and maybe even before that. That's why I'm telling you, you're the history buff. You're the one that should go back and quickly look at history. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Now, I have another way of looking at history that I'll show you and I'll turn you on to, which is using the energy, because I'm still learning about it. I probably will be the rest of my life, but learning how to use the energy, the true creator's energy that's all around us, and we all have the ability to use. We, for many years, were told that you had to be a priest, or you had to be an ancient monk, or you had to be something special in order to tap into this energy, okay, and talk to it. And then we all kneeled down in church using our conscious minds to pray to an energy that doesn't care about our conscious realm. So we missed it. We missed the boat. And what I'm trying to show you guys, anybody that'll come and look and listen, I'm trying to explain it the best I can, but really you have to go look at it all. You have to see it in order to understand it. You're not going to be able to do that by my words, and my words shouldn't be believed anyway. You should just go look for yourselves, because no one's words should be believed anymore. These are human construct, human influence. My words coming out of my mouth, as hard as I try not to be influenced by my whatever I've learned in my life and the conscious realm, you know, it's going to spill in. It's going to spill in, and I try to catch them as they do, and I try to be specific about, well, this is just my belief. This is something that and now I don't have any beliefs anymore. Now I can either prove it or it's not real. That's it. There's no beliefs. I either see it or that's it. There's no other. There's no other option anymore. It gets very difficult, you know. So like this guy that went and did the shooting in the subway and stuff like that yesterday or the day before yesterday. I think it was day before yesterday, because it was 29 hours before they got him and stuff like that. I mean, I can't say anything about it because my videos will get deleted and I'll get these strikes on me and all this kind of shit. So I can't even really talk about it. I can't talk about it as a matter of color or anything like that. I'll just try to carefully point out that be careful of what you believe. Okay, anything that you see on the news, whether it's something to do with the war going on, there's a lot of, most of it is bullshit. Okay, and that sucks because you don't know what is real and what is not, and that's part of the scam. That's part of confusing everybody. And like I was saying yesterday in a video, it's to crash our computers. If everything you're seeing on the television, hearing on the radio, learning in your schools, learning at work, whatever, wherever you're doing your learning in life, goes against what you can see with your own eyes, it's very fucky for the computer, and the computer's going to crash. So you've got 7.8 billion computers crashing at the same time. It's not going to be a fucking pretty thing, man. And we're seeing a lot of crashing humans. So that, you know, with that said, you know, there are a lot of mentally disabled people that are being taken advantage of by people that I cannot even name, but they're not down low. They're high ups in our societies, you know. The secret agencies, for example, all the Freemasonry, Illuminati, CIA, FBI, you know, they go against anything that we can see with our eyes, with our own eyes, you know, if we just went and looked around. All right, so on the colors, if you go back to the history, Candace, and you go back to ancient Egypt, there's a lot missing in ancient Egypt. In the same way that we're being lied to today, something happened back there that we were majorly lied to the entire earth over. However how big the population was at that time, how far electrical and how far bio we had gone by that time is in question. The whole black and white thing that happened at that time. The reason why ancient Egypt was totally buried, that's a lot of trouble to go through, to totally bury and deceive when it was unburied. Okay, when it was unburied, all the deception that went behind lying to us as human beings of every color, to lie to us about those ancient Egyptians. So if my buddy Tony was right and those ancient Egyptians were black in color, so if his story does match, and you go do the research and it feels right, and you read between the lines of all the lies, because the only truth you're going to find is amongst us, amongst the real humans that are looking back, maybe finding their gene pool and using some of your fake ass science to do so. I gotta say, go ahead and do that, but just make sure you're reading between the lines, even of those gene testings. All right. So if it was actually an African king and an African queen, and at that time they were still living to 150 years old, and then the queen passes away, possibly died of sabotage or, poisoned or something of that nature, if she died of unnatural causes, of just the false creator's timeline, because the false creator builds with these does his part of the build. The bio build is done with all these biocarbons, and there are trillions of them. So these biocarbons we didn't think about killing each other like you're talking about. I heard you on the show yesterday. It was probably an older video that you did, Candace, about the native Indians of these lands, of Americas, and how savagely they were and everything. I mean, really, Candace, you really got to see the big picture. You got to go look at what I'm showing you. Because if you think that those Indians were savage, you ain't looking at the fucking, and I'm not going to say white man because it's not the white man. You ain't looking at America the way that you fucking gonna, you're not seeing it in reality. And it's not just America, because in Europe, I mean, look at the mineral streets that I'm showing you all over the skies, what you're calling clouds. When you realize how big that is, I don't play into it because I know my videos will get shut down real fast. So I don't play down the chemtrail road and call them chemtrails and talk about all the conspiracy shit and go on and try to get onto the Alex Jones show to talk about the conspiracy and be shut down by Alex Jones and all. Because look, they're all game players, they're all programmers, and unfortunately, you fell in with a really bad crowd. That's great for you that you're higher up on the anarchy of their bullshit stories, but you're just going along with all the lies. And when you realize how deep this all goes, I mean, okay, the food, the medical industry, right? So the food being a commodity, and looking at the nanometallics that are in all the fucking food. All right, so we don't eat properly at all as human beings, and I'm talking all over this earth. We don't shit properly. We don't relieve our bodies. We don't sweat properly. We don't do anything properly. We don't use our eyes properly to look around and see things for what they are. We use our eyes to look into televisions. We use our eyes for sexual things and for maybe human concept, things of human concept and human influence, but we don't look around at the electrical side of things and see the energy and realize how big that is. All right. So if we can do that, all that today in today's society, then, you know, when you go back to ancient Egypt, we can see that they were worshiping the true creator. They were worshiping the true creator. That's the last time in history I see anybody worshiping the true creator, unless we're going to claim that the pyramids, because they're triangular, knowing that the builders are triangular. Because see, the star forts were the way that, if you look back at the star forts, okay, you're going to see that the star forts were being used to bounce the energy around. So humans were already, what form we were in and how bio we were, I don't know, because it was a very long time ago. That could all be looked in later too, but again, we're on a time scale here, so we don't have time for 7.8 billion people to learn the whole fucking shooting match, unless we make it through the what we're about to go through. If we make it through what we're about to go through and come back out the other side with a half a wit, then yes, maybe we could talk about all these things. But anybody who doesn't already know this for a fact, like I'm telling you about the star forts, what are you gonna go research for fucking 2 weeks about star forts? Listen, there are star forts all over this earth, other than the United States, other than Americas, I should say, that we know of. But the star forts are everywhere. And they're just like I was telling you about the Dopplers. So the Dopplers we use to bounce things around, and we also, on a smaller scale, use the antennas. And I'm going to bring you guys up to an antenna that when you get halfway up the mountain, you feel the energy from that freaking thing is huge. It's, I got to say, 400 feet high. It's 400 feet in the air. This thing is huge. It has its own electrical grid. It's huge, and it's built right on a mountain in Holyoke that when I was a kid, we used to play up there all the time, and that tower was not there. This all happened since the cell phone gig and all that kind of shit. So they can bounce signals around, electromagnetic current, any way they want now. All right? So compare that to tens of thousands of years ago, maybe even hundreds of thousands of years. Those star forts that are still standing today, that are still there, we can still see them underwater and above water, which that tells us a little something about oceans and how far down we've gotten this earth, because we've been chipping away at this earth since the beginning. That's the way humans do it. The white carbons were the cutters, and we would cut the mountains. We cut the mountains, and what did the black carbons do? The black carbons came along and pushed and pulled the heavy metals and minerals into place. So when you go to Peru and you see 350 ton to 500 ton stones, and you scratch your head and say, how did they do it? What kind of mysterious space aliens came out here. No, 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 no. That was us. That was us. We knew our electrical ability at that time, and we gave all that fucking strength and all that power away, and we gave it away to, you know, governments and leaders and money and and we keep doing this. This is a repeated thing. It usually, after they do a reset, though, it takes thousands of years in order to get the species all back up again, and there's always new species every time we come back, because what they're doing is humans are dividing Adam again, over and over again, because we scorch the earth with these nuclear hits. We do nuclear hits all over the earth wherever there is anybody, and we do this. Now there's strategic hits, I should say, as well, and each strategic hit, if you noticed, after the last hit, the last 6 to 10,000 years, I don't know where, but somewhere in there, maybe even going, every hit has been this way. I'm thinking that what could have happened is, for every 6 to 10,000 years that they do a reset, there might be an underlining goal to find zero, okay, to get to zero. And zero on everything is not a good fucking thing. This is why I'm saying it's so important for black and white. Now, Candace, when you look at your carbon colors compared to some of your friends' carbon colors, some of your friends are even darker, and then you could go even darker, right? So when you look at the blackest carbon that we have in a human form walking around on this earth, how, so you go to those countries that are the darkest black, and you see how many are left on this earth. See if that number matches the 12% that black Americans are being stuck at. Since, as a matter of fact, even in the West, even in Europe and all the West. All right, when you look at those colors on the color chart, look how many went to the darkest of the dark. Because see, on the color chart, again, the true creator sees everything as one. So he sees the black as the black, and he sees the white as the white, but they're not separate. They're all as one. The false creator separated us, and when he separated us at the darkest of dark and the whitest of white, right? And then every color in between, he kept separating, dividing, I should say. So he kept doing his division, and he comes out with all these human species, and before human, probably most likely silicon species. But anyways, he gets the colors all divided, and if humans come in and say, let's say, a dominant color of humans, maybe even